Hello everyone, this is the Theoretical Doctor and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. This is a series on the chapter Transport in Animals and Plants of chapter 8 of the STPM Semester 2 Biology series. Check out the full playlist on my channel. If you want access to flashcards on this topic and other videos, do click the link below. It is available on my website as well as slides on this topic. In this video, we will be continuing on the initiation and regulation of the heartbeat. In this video, the subtopics we will be focusing on will be cardiac output and pulse, initiation and regulation of heartbeat, and extrinsic factors modifying the heart rate. Cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped out of the heart per minute by one ventricle. This is the formula. Cardiac output equals stroke volume multiplied by the heart rate. Stroke volume is the strength of heartbeat measured in volume of blood per heartbeat, and heart rate is the number of heartbeats per minute. So stroke volume is the strength of the heartbeat. That's the important part here, and heart rate is the number of heartbeats. It is regulated by the autonomic nervous system. So the output, the cardiac output, it increases when there is an increase in body activity and serves to supply more oxygen and glucose to respiring cells and to remove waste products. So basically, when a person is exercising, there is increased body activity, the cardiac output increases. So prolonged athletic training, so if a person were to exercise for a very long time, and by very long I don't mean throughout the day, I mean like for a very long time, like for months, basically the heart strengthens and the heart muscles will increase. The heart chamber will also enlarge. This will leads to an increase in the strength of cardiac muscle contraction as well as an increase in stroke volume. So when a person who has been training for a very long time, when they are at rest, they have a higher cardiac output than an untrained normal person. A pulse is produced after every ventricular systole, and the number of pulse per minute corresponds to the number of heartbeats per minute. So this is where you measure the pulse. Pulse can be felt where the artery is near the skin surface, usually taken above the wrist, so it's over here. Now we'll enter the initiation and regulation of heartbeat. So the cardiac muscle in the heart is myogenic. It contracts and relaxes automatically and does not depend on the stimulation by nerves. We're talking about the intrinsic control over here. So the stimulus originates from the sinoatrial node here and is called the pacemaker at the right atrium. This is the right atrium. From the right atrium, the electrical impulse moves down the left and right atria, causing them to contract and forcing blood from the atria into the ventricles. From both atria, the impulse then moves to the atrioventricular node here, the AV node, and from the AV node, the electrical impulse moves to bundle of His fibers in the interventricular septum and to the right and left bundle branches here. So this is the right, this is the left bundle branches. The bundle of His fibers then divides into Purkinje fibers here at the bottom and towards the apex of the heart. Apex of the heart is this part, the bottom part here. It's the apex of the heart and spreads throughout the ventricular walls, causing the ventricles to contract and forcing blood from the ventricles into the aorta and the pulmonary artery. Basically, the contraction of the heart relies on the electrical impulse. So if you've watched my previous video, I mentioned that in systole of the cardiac cycle, it occurs when there is contraction, and in contraction there is electrical impulse. And so this is basically what I mentioned earlier. You can pause the video over here to read and go through again. So that was the intrinsic factors modifying the heart rate. So that was the intrinsic control. Now we'll go to the extrinsic factors modifying the heart rate. Extrinsic factors which increases the heart rate. If there is stimulation of the sympathetic nervous system, there is release of noradrenaline. So noradrenaline serves to increase the heart rate and stroke volume. If there is an increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide and decrease in blood pH value, if there's an increase in the body temperature, if the person is exercising, so exercising muscle reduces oxygen in the blood and will stimulate the wall of local blood vessels vessels to release nitric acid, which then increases the volume of venous blood returning to the heart and increasing the heart rate. If there is psychological stress, anxiety, and anger, so all of this will increase the heart rate. How about extrinsic factors that decreases the heart rate? If there's stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system, so release of acetylcholine slows down the heart rate and lowers the strength of contraction of the heart, fall in partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the blood, increase in blood pressure, which stimulates the stretch receptor within the walls of the aortic arch and the carotid sinuses. Impulses are then sent to the cardiac inhibitory center in the medulla to decrease the heart rate. If there is a decrease in body temperature. If you've reached this point, thank you very much. Hit the like button if you found it helpful, as it does help in reaching out to others as well. To support my channel by pressing the subscribe button so I will know, and it gives me motivation to continue producing content like this in the future. And finally, share this video to those who might find this helpful. See you in the next one.